The beautiful sunrise of Lake Turkana is enchanting. Being an island and oasis in the dry and marginalized northern Kenya, it often leaves tourists and local visitors with no option but to dream with open hearts. But in its splendor and warmth, it acts as a canvas on which humanity's heartless affront on Mother Nature is painted in a morbid display of impunity. Kalokol is a fishing town that lies along the shores of Lake Turkana, but it is controlled by cartels that sit at the heart of the region known as the cradle of mankind.
So hii inachukuliwa na companies peke yake.
Hiyo ndio anachukuliwa na companies peke yake. Na ni biashara pia haramu sasa hiyo. Hairuhusiwi lazima.
Behind the multi-million-dollar fishing business is an environmental disaster waiting to happen. It is an illegal trade that threatens the existence of some unique fish species. Shared with Ethiopia to the north, Lake Turkana is the largest permanent desert lake in the world. It is also Kenya's largest inland lake with a surface area of about 7,560 square kilometers. The lake, which holds over 60 fish species, serves as an alternative means of livelihood for the local nomadic Turkana community that depends heavily on livestock. However, some fish species are now under the threat of extinction due to illegal and unregulated undersized fishing. This illegal business is controlled by a syndicate of a few unscrupulous individuals. According to the United Nations, the world's marine and fisheries sector loses up to $50 billion annually due to management inefficiencies and overfishing. In Lake Turkana's case, the criminal web is quite intricate that getting a source to speak about the fish business is almost impossible unless one gets a blessing from someone known to a party in the circle.
Media si shida, si media.
This circle runs from the government offices in the county, the beach management units or BMUs, fishermen and traders. We went underground to investigate. The syndicate operates in a very tight but loyal circle. To approach the issue, we have to be very careful as our source warns.
But password ni moja tu. Sema mpaka namba kutoka fisheries. Ukienda tunaweza kuongea na
We set out for Kalokol, which lies about 55 kilometers from Lodwar town. Here we meet a member of the cartel. Let's call him Fimbo. Here he is dressed in a red shirt and a cap. He leads us to the stores of the lake at Daraja BMU, where he organizes a meeting with a committee. He seems to be quite a busy man, always on phone.
What?
Since we posed as students, they were very free with us.
Nimekuja tu hawa si wanahabari. Wale wanafunzi.
To our surprise, they are well aware that the undersized fishing is illegal. But why do they fish this?
Na ni biashara pia haramu sasa hiyo. Hairuhusiwi lazima. Tunajua serikali inakataa. Ni vile tu hapa hakuna mashamba. Lazima tu basi.
In our discussion, he distances himself from the dry fish business, but claims Chap Chap is the chief dealer in the business. He says he's into fresh fishing and new chain that is now mushrooming. At the shores, a number of refrigerated trucks are parked ready for fishermen who are coming from the lake. Beach Management Unit, commonly abbreviated as BMUs, is a structure formed to help in the regulation of beaches across Kenya. The units were formed under the Fisheries Act of 2016 to help in the governance of fish resource, also known as the blue economy. In Turkana, Fimbo serves as the local BMU chair. From Daraja, he leads us to the stores where Chap Chap stores the dry fish. The store is located within Kalokol town and was previously used to store fish from a factory that was set up by the Norwegian government in the 80s. The factory collapsed in early 90s after a dispute between the then President Daniel Moi and the Nordic nation. This store that is currently owned by Chap Chap was a storage facility for the dried fish by the factory. It is the largest in Kalokol and the entire Turkana County. At first, our cameras failed. Now we have to devise a plan to go back in. We convince Fimbo to take us to another BMU store. He leads us to Nariamet Beach Management Unit, and here he introduces us to the chairman as research students seeking information on the fish value chain.
Done. Moja ulipiwa 5,000. Ukikuja kwa kuna wale wanapanga wanahesabu ya kama wakati naleta hii andara kisha juu samaki yake ni kweli hiyo naleta. So kuna wale wana nikileta huko kanda habari leta hapa kuna wale watahesabu. Au pia wanachukua 500 700 around 700 hapa. So ule mtu anahesabu hiyo bei 700. Alafu kuna ule anapanga sasa. Kuna ule wa kupanga hiyo bei kama mzuri ndio afunge. Ule ni 1,000. 1,000. Kuna ile wa kuna mwingine wa kuchoma mafunga hiyo kama samaki sionekane. So huyo pia analipwa 200.
The chairman takes us on a tour of the stores. Here they have 2 reserves, one for fresh fish and another one for the dry fish. In the dry fish store, there isn't much activity except for heaps of undersized fish on dirty floor and a number of bales ready for loading. The fish value chain is composed of a number of actors, right from the fish catching in the lake to transportation to the markets. Fishing is mostly done by men, but women are also involved in the cleaning, sorting and counting of the fish before they are packed and loaded onto trucks by young men. The women also sew the bales after the fish is packed. Fimbo becomes our point man. We tell him we are interested in meeting the Congolese, which he organizes via phone call.
Hello. Hey, how are you?
We set out to meet the Congolese. We find a number of them doing basic chores. They're first reluctant to talk to us, but after hearing that we have a green light from Fimbo, they become more willing to share. This one introduces himself as Mwalimu. He claims to be a teacher and claims to have come to look for more money.
Nilikuwa mwalimu. Nikapanda kuongeza tena degree. Hapa niko architect. Lakini nimechelewa. Masomo inaanza kuanza tarehe 5 kule Kongo. Nimesha kwa mzee miaka maybe 56 years old.
According to him, this is the second time he is in Kenya, but we cannot verify his claims.
Oh. Na miezi miwili na maybe 1 week. 2 weeks, but 2 weeks. 2 months, 2 weeks. That it remains 2 weeks. Leave Kenya.
They tell us they are mourning one of them who allegedly died recently of diabetes. Most of them are men and are living in iron shanties just within Kalokol town. They tell us women have gone to organize the transportation of the body of their colleague back to Congo.
Maiti itachukuliwa kwa wale wa Kongo wa Kenya Airways. Ndio sasa kujua sasa ndege itakuwa siku gani. Napange lodwa tu Nairobi tu Lubumbashi. Ikishafika Lubumbashi, simu ndio tutajitahidi sasa kuchukua na Congo Airways ipeleke nyumbani.
Here, the name Chap Chap is mentioned again.
Ushaipoteza pesa mwenyewe wewe?
Hata mimi
Pesa ngapi?
Mimi hapa kuko mmoja anabaki na pesa yangu mwaka jana. Sababu hapa nakuja hapa. Na tunaenda kwa chief anasema hii mambo muende kwa chama ni Chap Chap. Leta majina yote wa Chap Chap. Hapa tunaenda kwa Chap Chap hapo. Tunaona mama mmoja anasema anaenda baharini. Niko na ile yangu inabaki pesa ngapi?
According to them, they deal in a legitimate business of transporting fish to DR Congo to suit the market demands there. They downplay the issue of transporting undersized fish.
Sisi tunafia ni ambayo inatoa sana. We have to take different qualities.
Due to the illegality of the business, they have fallen victims of cons and have lost thousands of dollars.
Huyu bwana alienda hapa kama anapotea kama ni
huyu alikuwa ichumba
milioni ngapi?
Eva ile kama ni kwambia
wimi 8,000 ni ngapi? Huyu alikuwa ni $800,000.
Dola 8,000.
Dola 8,000.
But how do foreigners get access to such an area and conduct an illegal trade right under the nose of government?
Hiyo unajua is really challenging our government because it is against the regulations. Na tumekuwa tukipigania hiyo nini, pigana mambo ya hii kununua undersize, lakini pia kuna lot of interference politics, so many challenges, and all those people pia wanasema ati that's their own livelihood, source of livelihood. So wanatetea tunaweza funga, hata kufunga pia these people wanafanya illegal. We are not allowed them, but they still do illegally because we may not frequently monitor. Yeah, so that is a point change. It's not legal. This is in Congo.
But there's this issue now of even Congolese and other people from outside who want to go and do direct, small, bringing wrong kind of nets, not follow the rules. So that is what hinders even those beach management.
The person you have called is not reachable.
For days, we are trying to get to Chap Chap. He first agrees to meet us, but later his phone goes silent on us.
The person you have called is not reachable.
He's not available
We will
again.
notify you.
This is the third time we're trying to reach him today. Yesterday we spoke to him and he promised that he's going to be available today. But as you can see, his phone is off. And our source earlier intimated that he's a very, very hard person to find. So we'll just keep trying and see whether we can be able to get him.
We set out to look for another alleged member of the cartel. Mama Iko is a former councillor, but currently is a renowned businesswoman. We first searched for her at her home in Kalokol town.
Mama yuko? Akolodwa.
The home shares a compound with her lodging business. Here, we don't find her. We reach out to her on a phone call and arrange a meeting with her as we pose as students doing research on the fish value chain.
Hello, mheshimiwa.
Lodwar is the largest town in northwestern Kenya and is the headquarters of Turkana County government. This is where Mama Iko agrees to meet us. Mama Iko is a known member of the cartel. She is said to call the shots of infrastructural developments that happens in Kalokol, including water and electricity.
I think we have the best catering system in Kenya. Very organized.
Our meeting is happening in a local hotel. She confesses on camera to being behind the illegal business of undersized fishing.
Na mimi pia nimekuwa na maboti kitambo kidogo. Kapeana tu kwa wanduku hapo. Lakini sasa mimi nanunua tu kwa wafupi. Alafu nakuja nausia wa Kongo.
She mentions something that raises our eyebrows on the Congolese connection to the illegal trade.
Samaki, kuna dawa ilikuwa inawekwa kwa samaki. samaki inahitajika kukuwa na kitu umeweka chini na unaweka dawa. Hii dawa yenye ilikuwa tunaweka, madaktari wakakataa. Kasema hataki hiyo dawa. Basi sisi tukasema nyinyi basi muende muangalie ile dawa inahitajika kuwekwa kwa samaki. Sasa mpaka tangu siku hiyo hawajaleta hiyo dawa. Sasa watu wanajaribu tu ile dawa yao kuweka kwa samaki kwa sababu ya kuua dudu. Na bila dawa hiyo samaki haiwezi kaa. Na samaki ya zamani ile kwa tunaweka chumvi ya kutosha. Madudu haiwezi kukua kwa samaki kama utaweka chumvi ya kutosha. Samaki inakaa hata mwaka utapata samaki hapo tu imekauka kabisa, hakuna dudu. Lakini sasa watu wanaweka samaki chumvi kidogo, ndio unaona hiyo dudu iko mingi.
Na hiyo dawa gani walikuwa wanaweka kwa?
Kuna hii dawa hii, unaona hii dawa ya kuweka kwa choo nyeupe. Kuna hii dawa nyeupe hii. Dudu dust. Dudu dust ndio inawekwa kwa samaki.
Dudu dust is a popular powder used to kill pests. But why will someone use pesticide as a food preservative?
Like carbaryl is a non-carcinogenic substance. It's also known to be an endocrine disruptor, meaning it has effects now of the hormones that we normally have in our body. And now when it does that, you can see the effects that it will cause now to the people who consume it.
We had a plan on how to get back to Chap Chap stores. We reach out to Fimbo and he again makes himself available. He directs us to his current location, from where we find him supervising boat making. The cartel controls everything on the fish value chain, the actual fishing, processing, and trading both locally and regionally. We pick him and head to the stores. At the store, thousands of dried fish are arranged in heaps. Here we meet the manager of the store, Mr. Daniel Erukudi, alias Eru, who introduces us to his office within the store. He willingly agrees to show us the daily operation in the store upon our request. Here, women are sorting the dried fish and carrying them in basins to men who arrange them in heaps. The legal size fish is displayed at the front to confuse any visitor. Behind, we find heaps of undersized fish and which he is not keen on talking about. The store has 3 more rooms. We request to enter them, but he hesitates for a moment before agreeing. In the rooms, we find heaps of undersized fish and bales that are packed ready for transportation. Big trucks transporting goods to the county are the ones used to ferry the fish to Isebania border, where they are then transported through Tanzania, Zambia, right into the Democratic Republic of Congo. Initially, they used to go through Uganda, but this was halted when the country's President Yoweri Museveni blocked a number of trucks late last year on claims that they were transporting immature fish from Lake George located in western Uganda.
We are going to continue impounding the vehicles that are carrying immature fish as long as they don't obey the rules.
We raise the issue on the fish being infested with maggots to Eru, but he downplays our concern.
So umesema haiziharibiki zikiwekwa hivi chini hata?
Haiwezi haribika, hii imekuwa tu.
A few days later, we head back to Nariamet stores unannounced. Here, we meet a Congolese trader supervising his consignment as it is being packed. A young man is arranging the fish while the women are sorting. The Dudu dust Mama Iko talked about. Our presence makes the Congolese man uncomfortable and he steps out. I follow him outside, and the next door to the store is a Congolese national woman washing dishes while her male compatriot is inside the room. This is a room within the beach management unit compound, but now serving as their shelter. The young man identifies my colleague as a journalist. It is our moment to leave hurriedly.
Hapana, si huyu umemconfuse na mtu.
Fish processing in Kalokol happens in 4 different methods: salting, smoking, drying, and fresh fish. But the Congolese are only interested in the small dry tilapia. Our search takes us to Longech, an island that is also common with fishing. Here, we meet a trader who has just finished spreading his undersized fish in the blistering Turkana sun to dry. This is equivalent to about $0.015. Across the beaches, undersized fishing is done in the open. At the transportation level, the driver of the goods does not ferry them to the destination in Congo. Instead, the goods are loaded on different trucks at every border point. Hence, no one in the chain knows the end user of the product.
Sisi unajua ile samaki wa Kongo wanachukua hapa. Unajua tunafunga tu kama bell. Tunaweka kwa gari. Sasa ile kitu wanafanyia naye kwao, mimi siwezi nikajua wanafanyia nini. Mimi najua tu hii biashara ya hapa tu. Lakini zaidi ya huko hatujaenda tukaangalia ni nini wanafanyia.
Maybe this is my personal thinking. Off camera. It's either tunafanya wash your Congolese or to sponsor rebels in Congo. In off camera.
However, we couldn't validate the allegations by our source. But why would such an illegal business happen under the full watch of authorities? We head to the county fisheries office to find out. The fisheries function of the ministry were devolved to county governments under the new constitution that was passed and enacted in 2010. Here we meet the local agriculture minister.
Yeah.
Promote fishing. It's really dangerous.
Yeah, it's not.
When you read this story, also talk to Munya. Is it Munya? Yes.
Yes, Munya is the current agriculture secretary.
PS Fisheries. So what are good and are you aware? So there's the people that don't have to really put regulations in that. Controls. When I check units. Then those are supposed to talk to Congo.
What shocks us is that the whole government ministries acknowledges the business is illegal, yet the officials turn a convenient blind eye.
Can you film?
No, I want to direct you, don't put it.
Okay.
It is illegal. We are starting with bad stuff. You cannot license the illegality. There is no way you can license bad stuff. It's a practice. It is criminal. It's illegal. It's done by cartel sparks. Who are these Congolese? Maybe you should follow the supply.
Some officers have even become sympathizers, if not key players. Remember that Turkana County is one of the highly funded local government in Kenya due to its poor ranking in annual poverty indices. The Turkana governor is called Josphat Koli Nanok. He's serving his second term after being re-elected in 2017. His tenure is claimed to be marred by graft. We raised the allegation by our sources to him. However, by the time of going on air, we had not received any response yet. Every week, about 3 trucks leave Kalokol for the markets in Democratic Republic of Congo. Each truck is loaded with a minimum of 100 bales, and each bale carries between 24 to 30,000 undersized fish. This translates to between 2.4 to 3 million fish per truck. This clearly means a huge dent in fish populations in Kenya's largest water body lake.
The small fish are found in breeding grounds or nursery ground for fish. When you see them, fishes, most of the catch is of small sizes. It's also giving you an indication that apart from the illegality in mesh sizes, there is also illegality in the place of fishing. They're fishing in the breeding grounds for fish, which should be protected to allow fish to breed and replenish the natural populations.
Each bale costs between $350 to $400, which is equal to a minimum of about 350,000 per truck, minus taxes and other costs like transport.
Kwa beli ukifunga kama samaki ile kubwa inaweza kufika 40,000 kwa beli, lakini kama ni ile samaki ndogo wanafunga na 36, 37, hapo tu inacheza hapo.
Millions of dollars are collected as revenue from the fishing business by Turkana County. The millions that now threaten different fish species, collected and transported deviously while laced with poisonous substances. We trailed one of the trucks to Isibania border. From here, the bales will be transferred to a different truck, then ferried to Tanzania, then Zambia, and finally to DRC. This footage, filmed secretly by our source, shows the bales being loaded on Tanzania-bound trucks. We reached out to our contact in DRC, who traced a market in Lubumbashi, but the major market is said to be in Kasai. Meanwhile, we took some samples to Chemfree Lab in Kisumu. We, however, were not able to get conclusive findings since the samples were already cut, hence damaged. But our attempts to measure a second sample at Chemfree's office in Kalokol were futile when the local office knew we were doing an investigation. As we complete this investigation, questions hang. Controlling illegal fishing has been a challenge to local and international bodies due to political interest and some flawed government laws. Currently, there is a back and forth on Japan's reluctance to end whaling. China has also been accused of conducting illegal trawling on East African waters. With illegal fishing feeding into insecurity and deepening poverty, many communities in the region stand losing livelihoods. It should not be forgotten that the rise of terrorist organizations like Al-Shabaab thrives as a result of illicit fishing and dumping of toxic wastes on Somali waters. As the beautiful sunset casts an alluring shadow on the waters of Lake Turkana, it seeks to bury the cancer that is eating its fish species. A cancer that is riding on corruption, the corruption that reigns supreme on Mother Nature, aided by a deadly monopoly.